According to Old Norse manuscripts from the 13th century, the Kraken's deadliest weapon was not its teeth or its claws. Its most terrifying power was the ability to manipulate the ocean physics through its sheer physical volume. When the Kraken emerged to breathe, it displaced millions of gallons of water, creating massive artificial waves. And when it decided to dive back down into the abyss, the sudden vacuum sucked the ocean inward, creating a colossal whirlpool. Any ship caught within a mile of the beast would be trapped in this swirling vortex, spinning helplessly into the dark floor. Biologically speaking, a creature would need to be the size of multiple football fields to create a whirlpool that large. On our Earth, an animal that massive would instantly collapse under the crushing weight of its own flesh if it didn't have bones. For generations, the Kraken was drawn as a giant crab or a massive whale-like fish. But as time went on, the descriptions shifted toward a highly specific type of creature, a colossal cephalopod. Cephalopods are invertebrates like octopuses and squids, which means they do not have a single bone in their bodies. This lack of a skeleton is an incredible advantage in the deep sea because it allows them to squeeze through tight rocks. However, if a squid tries to grow to the size of a mountain like the mythical Kraken, physics throws a fatal tantrum. Without a hard internal chassis, muscles have no solid anchor points to pull against to generate force. A mountain-sized squid would be a helpless jelly-like sack of meat that couldn't even lift its own tentacles to attack a ship. But just when scientists were ready to declare the Kraken entirely impossible, the ocean did something incredible. In the year 2003, fishermen near Antarctica pulled a creature out of the freezing water that shocked the world. They had captured a fully intact specimen of Mesonicoteuthis hamiltoni, famously known as the colossal squid. This real-world monster can weigh up to 500 kilograms, making it significantly heavier than the giant squid. Its tentacles are not just covered in suction cups, they are armed with swiveling, razor-sharp metallic hooks. These hooks are designed to slice through the thick skin of deep-sea whales during epic silent wars in the pitch black. This was the physical reality behind the myth, a red-hooked demon living thousands of feet beneath the ice. To understand how a real Kraken survives in the dark, we have to look at their most terrifying anatomical feature, their eyes. The colossal squid possesses the largest eyes of any living animal in the entire history of the Earth. Each eye can grow up to 30 centimeters across, which is roughly the size of a large dinner plate or a basketball. Why does an animal need eyes that are so comically and massively oversized? Down in the midnight zone, there is absolutely zero sunlight, making standard eyes completely useless. But these giant basketball-sized eyes are specialized lenses built to catch the tiniest streaks of bioluminescent light. They act like high-tech night vision goggles, allowing the squid to see the glowing silhouette of a hunting sperm whale from hundreds of feet away. Living at the bottom of the ocean also requires a completely different type of biochemistry than human blood. Our human blood is red because it uses iron-based hemoglobin to carry oxygen through our warm bodies. But at the freezing temperatures of the deep ocean, iron-based blood becomes incredibly thick, sluggish, and inefficient. To solve this, the real-world Kraken evolved to have copper-based blood, which turns a striking bright blue color. This copper compound, called hemocyanin, flows like water even in sub-zero temperatures, keeping the squid alive under immense pressure. So if you ever sliced open a legendary Kraken, it wouldn't bleed red like a mammalian monster. It would pour bright alien blue fluid into the sea. The ancient sailors who claimed they walked on the Kraken's back were likely witnessing a bizarre biological event. When a giant or colossal squid reaches the end of its life cycle, its gas regulation systems begin to break down entirely. Ammonium ions stored inside their dense muscle tissues cause the dead or dying carcass to float slowly to the surface. Because their skin can rot and bloat into a rough, wrinkled texture, a floating dead squid can look exactly like a jagged reef from a distance. Seabirds would land on the giant carcass to eat the rotting flesh, making it look even more like a real living island to a passing ship. But as soon as the gases escaped the rotting tissues, the island would suddenly sink back down, giving birth to the legend of the disappearing monster.